You're listening to Love Advice with Leanne. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Leanne. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Why, in your professional opinion, do you never take my calls off the air?
Is this Carl?
Yep, it's Carl. I mean, we had a few dates. Everything was great. I thought,
Well, you know, when you switch to Geico, you could save a lot of money on car insurance.
Okay, awesome.
You should call them.
I will.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio in high fidelity.
You are tuning in to a Goldilocks Productions presentation of the Quantum Path Radio Show with Dennis Anderson. Dennis is a psychic medium, a hypnotist, and spiritual teacher. He has had a gift to perceive the subtle energies from an early age, turning off the gift at the age of 20 to live life, love, and understand human behavior. To have it reawaken again during his late 30s due to a calling that was loud and needed to be answered, Dennis was urged by Spirit to learn more, grow more, and share his gifts that others can benefit by exploring their own unique abilities. Call in now if you would like to speak to Dennis. The call-in number is 713-955-0594. Press 1 so that you can get into the host queue.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Quantum Path Radio Show. As stated, my name is Dennis Anderson, and I am very happy to be here with you today. Hopefully, my voice will hold out. Mainly because of the fact that I just wrapped up over at a psychic fair in Peterborough this weekend, and obviously, yes, I do a lot of talking, and especially while I'm there, and hopefully my voice will hold out during. So, anyway, I'm very happy to be back. It was a very, let's put it this way, it was a tiring weekend, but let's put it this way, it was very interesting. You know, and I met some amazing people there who have been going through some interesting things in their life, who I was able to connect with and to help to connect, I guess you could say, with them to a loved one or two. And it was, whenever I do that, you know, like whenever I really, I guess you could say, get into the flow of being with someone, you know, like on a, not just on a, I guess you could say like on a personal sort of like one, you know, like one from the other, like when I'm sitting across from them. It's a matter of actually like you're energetically connecting and you're energetically feeling what it is like within that person. And that was, I guess you could say that was probably one of the most beautiful things that a person can ever go through. Okay, because it's not like a, you know, like a sexual thing or anything like that. It's far from it, but it goes much deeper. It's actually a matter of you actually almost becoming that other person and feeling what's going on within them and understanding them and helping them to, I guess you could say, grow beyond what it is that they need, and to help them provide closure or whatever it is that may be coming up. So it's been a very interesting weekend, let's put it that way. Anyway, if you are interested, feel free to give me a call at 713-955-0594, and I definitely, you know, would love to hopefully have a conversation with you as well today. Now, there's a couple of things though that I see. Let's say, for example, like I know that there's a lot of things. Let's say, for example, in the media, a lot of, let's put it this way, sexual allegations going on about, I guess you could say, inappropriate conduct by various males, whether it be Harvey Weinstein to Kevin Spacey to And I think there was that senator or whoever it was in the States as well. Lots of things going on there. And it seems to be, and it's not just in the United States. It actually is pretty much worldwide. And sometimes it's not by somebody that's necessarily famous or anything like that, but sometimes it is a person that uses their influence or their, I guess you could say, their position, whether it be within family or whether it be within society or whatever, but they do seem to exert that influence onto somebody that is not as, let's put it this way, like they're not experienced, they're not aware of some of the dangers or anything like that are out there, and these people take advantage of it, and it really breaks my heart because I know that it's been going on for many, many years, and it's not just now, coming to light. It's been going on since probably the dawn of time. But finally, and fortunately, people are actually starting to come out with it. Now, the interesting thing, though, is that I've seen, let's say, for example, like on Facebook and other social media sites, I guess you could say, that some people are saying, like, oh, it's becoming a witch hunt for men. And honestly, I really don't think it's a matter of it being a witch hunt, and I really don't feel it's that way anymore. I really do feel that actually it's a, and I've said it before in other discussions, I guess you could say, that, like the world is detoxifying and it's cleansing. And sometimes we need something to push it out, okay? And it's like that, I guess, and I'll use an example of a pimple, okay? Because sometimes that pimple is underneath the surface, but it needs to come out eventually, and that's the thing, so that this way the body can be cleansed. And with an awakening process, many of us have gone through that, I guess you could say, that cleansing, that aspect of, let's say, for example, like, yes, there may be skin eruptions or there may be intolerances to certain foods and so forth and so forth. But if you look at it as a macrocosm in the world or society in general, that there's an aspect of the, I guess you could say, the detoxification process is now happening, and I'm glad, it's coming out into the surface. It's coming out into the mainstream, so that this way we can actually teach our children, and our children can actually see, what is happening, and maybe that it is not a good thing to hide these things, to discuss it, to, and that's really what it comes down to. Like, even today, like on TV, Corey Haim actually, or not Corey Haim, but Corey Feldman, he was actually talking about the Hollywood, I guess you could say, conspiracy that they were, let's put it this way, there was a lot of hidden pedophilia type things going on. And he made a very compelling and understandable sort of aspect to it, that, let's put it this way, like, these things happened, but why was the eye turned? Or, like, when we turn a blind eye to something because of the money aspect, and he understood that, okay, let's put it this way, like, these people are making maybe a few tens of thousands or whatever dollars per episode. And if something like that came out, all of a sudden, they would shut the production down. And then what happens? You, along with everybody else, is now out of a job because they had to shut it down. So that's why a lot of people actually did keep it quiet. And that's very sad, that something like that had happened. So, like I said, I'm very glad that these things are coming out, and hopefully, like they can make some changes so that this way, like maybe something drastic like shutting something down is not necessary, that maybe it's just a matter of investigating and, I guess you could say, changing the process. And for too long, a lot of people are influenced, by those that are in control, by authority. But that all stems from, like, when we're children. And I don't mean by, like anything in regards to, abuses or anything like that. But really, when you think about it, like, what happens as children? Like, we have our authority figures in our parents. Or with, let's say, for example, like with our families and so forth, like we should always, listen but not speak, that sort of mentality, I guess you could say. And our parents are, let's put it this way, are some of the best hypnotists out there, because of the fact that, they were there trying to teach us or trying to make us learn about something, and that's part of it. It's just that, unfortunately, those that have abused, I guess you could say, that power, and have therefore made it into something that became ugly. So instead of strengthening who we are, we actually started weakening. Now, the other interesting thing, though, that kind of goes along with this, though, is that as we, and I actually kind of did a little off survey, I guess you could say, a very minor one in many ways, but I was actually curious, not so much, I guess you could say, about other psychics or anything like that, but it was a matter of, like, how did we grow and how did we develop and why? And usually a lot of us have gone through something in our lives, and sometimes within our childhood or even as we got a little bit older or whatever, but it really did make us shift and make us learn about something on a deeper level. Okay, so as a psychic or whatever, basically, yes, we are picking up on certain things on a very minute scale, so that's how we learn that communication aspect, I guess you could say, of energy reading. And the same, and as it goes, it was sometimes those events that happened in our past made us grow into something that we are now. So there is some light out of the darkness, and that is the thing here that I hope I'm conveying to you tonight. Is that yes, there is light in the darkness, and even though that all these things seem really bleak and very disturbing and so forth, there is going to be light at the end of this tunnel. And therefore, I do feel that we will become much stronger as a society. I do not wish for our society to become too politically correct, because I do feel that we still need that freedom of expression. But I do wish that we learn from this and we garner, I guess you could say, greater respect for our fellow man, woman, or child. And I use man as a very broad-ranging term here, but I do hope that this will allow us to have greater respect for everyone in general. So, with that being said, I guess I already have a caller. So, if Roz could bring through 805, that would be wonderful. Hello, caller.
Well, hello, Dennis. This is Donna. How are you?
Very good, Donna. And how's things with you?
Yeah, okay, I guess. Not much has shifted for me. I'm trying to meet someone. I got on eHarmony, and 5 of the guys were fake. They took them off the site, the kind that like to scam women for money and this and that. So that was rather disappointing. They seemed to find me. And then I just wrote one fellow named Gary. He lives in Kona, the Big Island, Hawaii. And I'm going over there in December, so I'm hoping that maybe he'd want to see me, my brother and I. But I don't know. I just wrote him this afternoon. I haven't heard back yet. Do you feel anything good with this guy named Gary?
Well, let's put it this way. Let's put it, like as I put out even some of the cards here, I am getting you going on that trip. That is a definite for sure. Let's put it that way. I am definitely seeing, though, where, let's put it this way, there is possibility here, okay?
Okay.
Because, let's put it this way, I'm getting the Lover's card. But what I am getting, though, is that you should be... now, once again, this is up to you, but don't put all your cards out on the table at once.
No.
Okay?
Yeah.
So what I am getting those is that for you to just kind of, take your time, take it easy sort of thing, see where it goes. There is some very good possibility here, obviously. But we do want to make certain, though, that we are, like I said, taking our time, kind of watching things, making certain that, the universe will take it as it goes. Let's put it that way. So in regards to long-term or something like that, there is some possibilities here, but I am kind of getting that, okay, it's going to be a little bit of a slower sort of back and forth sort of situation here. So just take your time sort of thing, okay?
Yeah.
And that's the thing there.
I wanted to ask you about money, because my money's so low, and I did have a little part-time job looking after a woman, but that ended because she was she couldn't handle wheat, and she wanted a hamburger and fries, and I got her fries, and they had the wheat in them, and I didn't know it. She got sick, so our daughter let me go.
That's interesting. I didn't even think fries would have wheat in them. That's because how's anybody supposed to know that?
I know, but I think it was the oil that they cooked it in, because they might have cooked it. And that's what I didn't know. Yeah.
Well, that's possible, or who knows, maybe if the fries are a little bit breaded or something like that. You never know what they stick in that stuff nowadays, that's for sure.
I'm expecting a windfall somehow, because I can hear my mother, she's on the other side, and she said to me, "You're going to be rewarded." And this was like a month and a half ago. So I think something's coming in.
Well, I do feel, actually, that you are going to be getting something here fairly soon. I am getting that there is going to be, where, let's put it this way, it's almost like you're going to be getting something, and it could always, it's kind of weird, because I'm actually, the first thing that popped into my head is like a refund or something like that. It's almost like you're going to be getting a check or something like that through the mail for something, and it could be like an unexpected sort of refund, like from the tax, or it could be maybe something even from like an insurance or something. I don't know what it is. It's kind of, I'm just getting like a check in the mail for some sort of reason, and I don't know why I'm getting that. But yeah, I am getting you actually getting something here, because even with like with the Six of Pentacles and stuff like that one there is kind of telling me that yes, you are going to be receiving something from someone. And let's put it this way, I am seeing you actually doing something else, okay? So even though that, let's put it this way, yes, you were working part-time or whatever, and unfortunately that had to end, I do see you actually picking something else up very, very quickly. And I think that's actually going to happen fairly soon. Just keep your eyes open, okay? Because I'm actually kind of getting something interesting. I'm actually kind of, for some sort of reason, I'm just getting the flash of that website Indeed or something like that, .com or something like that, or like the monster.ca, where it's like job hunting sort of website. And to go on there and to have a look around there, because I do feel that there is going to be something there that's actually going to appeal to you, and that's actually going to work for you in your favor. Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I think it's going to come fairly soon, too, actually. Like, it doesn't feel like it's going to be very far off, so just keep your eyes open and have a look. Okay?
I will, Dennis. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
You have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay, so anyway, as I was kind of talking a little bit earlier about some of the people I was connecting with there. It's always fun, like at these shows, because one, you're around other psychics and mediums and people that are very intuitively, I guess you could say, aware. And let's put it this way, the community of it is actually a wonderful sort of community, okay? Everybody has a different sort of mode or modality in the way they do things or the way they communicate their message. Okay, and I'm not here to, let's put it this way, I don't judge like how somebody does it, because sometimes a person will come to me and maybe they don't totally resonate to what I would say as compared to maybe somebody else. Like I'm more, I'm a very grounded, I guess you could say, sort of way of looking at things. And that's the way I like to convey myself, because I do believe that, yes, we are here on this planet for a reason, and we are here for the experience, and that is what we actually can take with us to the afterlife, I guess you could say, to add to our, I don't know if you want to call it karmic points or whatever, but all those things, they do add up, okay, and that's the beauty of it. Because it's the experience, it's what you're learning. Now, another people, they may be more, in the, where they discuss things more in the angelic realms, or maybe they're more alien sort of, like Pleiadian sort of ascended masters sort of way of looking at things. And hey, whatever resonates with a person, like you go with it. And that's why I don't judge it, because everybody has their own way of doing things. But it's a wonderful thing, though, because it's a mixture. I guess you could say it's a wonderful hodgepodge of people that are there. But as one of the things that actually I ran into, like one lady, she actually sat down with me. Very lovely lady, actually. Like she was, I don't know, maybe in her late 50s. She actually had a company that her and her husband were actually running. And so I sat, she sat down, and you could just kind of feel, though, that there was a wonderful, I guess you could say, vibe off of her. Okay, she had this lovely energy of just kind of like release and freedom and so forth around her. And it was actually quite nice. And actually, as I did her aura picture, let's put it this way, she had, I guess you could say, the full rainbow effect of all the colors around her. Now, usually when I look at a person's aura and I see all the, I guess you could say, all the rainbow colors, that usually tells me that a person is in a state of transition. Okay, they're going from one aspect of life into another. So it could be a change of jobs, it could be a change in, let's say, for example, if they're moving or whatever, it's usually a fairly major change in what they're doing. And I did it myself, actually, like in a few years back, actually, when I went from being, I guess you could say, this full-time electrician / whatever, to something that, was more in, I guess you could say, in this realm. And I went through that transition, too, because that's just the energy that I was putting off. And the same thing happened with that lady, too. And so I was asking her, I said, well, okay, it looks like you're going through a bit of a transition, but a lot of good things were coming off. And I was, like I said, I was feeling the vibe that was coming off of her, and I just said, it just feels like you pretty much won the lottery or something. And she started laughing, and that's when she proceeded to tell me that she actually did. And I was like, huh? And I was shocked at first, because I've never met anybody that actually won the lottery. Even for myself, I'm lucky if I get $20 out of the tickets or something like that, and I'm always grateful, though. That's the key here. Okay, is always be grateful if you ever do win anything off of a lottery, or if you ever come into any sort of money. Like, always be grateful and for all the things that you do have, because the gratitude is actually a very strong, powerful energy that you could actually put off. Okay, and that's the exciting thing here. So along with this, though, this lady, she had, like I said, like she then proceeded to tell me that, you know, like she won, let's put it this way, a few million, you know, and I then proceeded to say, like, okay, I'm jealous, and are you willing to adopt? Unfortunately, I guess I'm not adoptable, mainly because of the fact of my age, I guess. But needless to say, anyway, I was very happy for her, and it was wonderful to see somebody actually, I guess you could say, having that sort of dream sort of fulfilled. And the work that she was doing was actually very labor intensive. It usually meant long hours, sometimes into the wee hours of the morning, due to it wasn't so much her deadlines, but her customers' deadlines that she did have to consider. And now she is, I guess you could say, free to sell the business, and in turn, she is also free to explore certain things in her life now. That's when I actually mentioned to her, though, is for her to remain busy, though. See, a lot of us, when we, let's say, for example, if you retire, and a lot of people look at that age of 65, and they say, like, oh, I can't wait till I hit that 65 or 60 or Freedom 55 or Freedom 75 or whatever it is, you know, like it doesn't make a difference what age. But the thing is, though, is that for a lot of people, after you retire from your regular work, make certain that you stay busy with something else. You know, occupy your time. Keep learning, keep growing, because that's what the soul wants. Okay, the soul is always looking to expand, it's always looking to grow, and it's always looking to better itself in many ways. And that's why we're here on this planet. Like, we're here to grow, we're here to learn, we're here to experience different things, and that's the beauty of these lifetimes of experience that we do have. But as I was talking to her about it, she actually already had plans in place. You know, like she actually wanted to get into, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was into like gemstones, and to be able to sell gemstones or something like that. You know, like she just, something that, you know, wouldn't take up all of her time, but that would keep her busy, that she could explore, that she could learn from, that she could hopefully help others from, you know, sort of thing. And I thought that was actually pretty cool, you know, that she was already had that in place, or was already thinking about it. She knew that she needed to take some time off from work, because I could see it. And let's say, for example, her heart chakra and so forth, because, you know, like I like to look at the heart chakra as kind of like the battery of the body. And when I see that one draining down a little bit, it usually means that, you know, a person needs to take time for themselves, a little bit of self-love. So let's say, for example, if you yourself feels that, you know, like, oh, I'm getting tired, or I'm getting this or that or whatever, well, you know, give yourself some self-love. You know, start expressing that for, even if it's just something, like even if you can't get away on a vacation, that's okay. But make certain that you are spending some time, though, to recharge your own personal battery. And if you do that by, you know, locking yourself in your room and reading a good book, or having that bubble bath with some candles, you know, and guys, don't, you know, let's put it this way, you can do that too. There's no harm in that, you know, because like there's no harm in you spending some time by yourself and figuring things out. So recharge those batteries now and again. It's not going to hurt you, okay? And that's kind of one of the other beauties of being an energy reader and actually seeing these things. Now, another thing, too. I have another caller as well, so you know what? Let's bring through another one. So if I could get caller 305, please, Roz, that would be fantastic.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And who am I talking to?
My name is Maria. This is the first time I listen to your show.
Oh, okay.
It's very interesting.
Thank you very much for calling in and listening. I appreciate it. So what can I do for you today, Maria?
Well, I'm having a hard time with my love life.
Okay.
In the sense that I have not met anybody that I would want to be in a relationship with for a long, long time. And
okay.
I don't know. I mean, a part of me wants to be in a relationship, but then a part of me feels like giving up because I've been looking for so long and I just don't find anyone that I feel
compatible
I can have
with?
a future with.
Okay. Well, the interesting thing actually, let's say for example, about relationships. And actually I've been kind of exploring that topic even myself over the past while, mainly because of the fact that why do we have relationships in the first place? In a lot of ways, it is a biological aspect of, it's evolutionary, it's biological, and it really is there because, that's where the craving, I guess you could say, to be with somebody comes from, because that's kind of where humans have evolved from, I guess you could say. That's how we propagate the species in many ways. So the thing is, though, is that as a let's say, for example, even within yourself. Okay. Now, the first thing that kind of popped up into mind is that are you being too particular about the type of person that's coming up?
Well, yes, I am, because I
Okay.
don't want to make a mistake again.
And that's a tough thing here. Okay, and I totally understand where you're coming from, because heaven knows I've been in a few relationships myself, and I've been around that block more than twice. Let's put it that way. And and the thing is that, like I said, let me put it to you this way though, is that what the thing is I've been in abusive relationships. Okay, and where. I literally was physically abused even by the woman I was with at that time, which, let's put it this way, I'm not a small person. I'm almost 6 foot, and, I'm in excess of 200 pounds sort of thing. And the thing is, is that, this tiny little diminutive type person basically decided to, punch me as well, right in the face. And,
oh my God, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And because this is something though that, I wish to share, because it took me a few years to actually kind of get over that. And it wasn't just because of the physical aspect, but because of the emotional abuse that kind of went along with everything too. And even though that this person was, small in stature, she did have, I learned afterwards that, some emotional and I guess you could say mental issue sort of thing, and it was kind of coming out in violence or in, I guess you could say, in emotional sort of abuse as well. So the thing is, though, is that I learned a lot from that. And for a while there, I was very hesitant to get involved with somebody else because of the fact that I didn't want that to happen again, because I knew that it took me a few years afterwards to get over that. But the thing is, though, is that I also learned, too, that I needed to, if I wanted to be with somebody, I had to not necessarily forget, but I had to realize, too, that, other people are not necessarily like that. Okay.
Right.
So with you, I do want to say, though, is that, don't think that everybody is going to be like that other person, and, that was in your past. But what you can do, though, is be, and yes, there are going to be some signs that are going to make you trigger, sort of thing of some of those past things, okay? And that's a gimme there. Whenever you meet somebody, there's going to be some triggers there that are going to come up where you're going to sit there and say, like, this feels too familiar, sort of thing. And maybe that is something where you need to step back from. But there are others out there, though, that are not going to be like that, where you could, let's say, for example, take a safe chance, and to take your time with, and to, eventually start to go for coffees or dinners or whatever. And then next thing you know, you never know where it may take you. And like I said, not everybody is going to be the ideal cookie cutter sort of thing that we are looking for. Heaven knows I thought that, like when I was in relationships and so forth, that, this was going to be it, sort of thing, because I thought I had everything in line. I thought, okay, they looked like this, they were this type of personality, they were, they had some spirituality behind them, so forth and so forth. And I honestly thought that, this is it, this is the one I'm spending my life with. And then,
wow,
it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It didn't last. But the thing is, though, is that I did come out of it, I guess you could say stronger in some ways. But I also know, too, that I'm not going to be so particular in my choosing of people or anything like that. I am going to give other people a chance to, let's say, for example, to show me, like, who they are. And in turn, I can show them who I am. Because sometimes the differences, you never know where it may take you. And it can be very rewarding, and it can lead to some beautiful connections, where they not necessarily just like you, but they have some differences where it makes things interesting. Or maybe they have a little bit of an extra, fire in them where they actually have a tendency to maybe kind of push you a little bit in a healthy way. And that's the thing too. So just keep your eyes open. I do feel, now, let's put it this way, now in regards to your original question, like it was kind of like, okay, well, when am I going to get this?
No, it's okay.
Well, no, because let's put it this way. Like, that was just kind of like my little rant here, I guess you could say. But I do feel, though, that there is something coming here for you. I do feel, though, that there is going to be some actually very nice connections happening. When is this going to happen? Okay. I do feel, though, that there is going to be... and what I want to say, though, and please don't take this the wrong way, is, like I said, look at what you've been doing, okay, for the past while. And basically kind of like, okay, obviously that's not been working for you. So now you want to kind of like, okay, well, change my process here a little bit. So try something different. Try to change, let's say, for example, like you're thinking of things, and like I said, let go of those old relationships that were holding you back, because they don't serve you anymore. Not in the future. You see what I mean? Like, but like I said, I do feel that there is going to be something coming. I do want to say, actually, probably by the first quarter of next year, because I am kind of feeling like something around March or April, because that seems to be coming up. But before then, start looking at, like what's kind of going on. And like I said, start to kind of change maybe a little bit of the way that you've been looking at things. Like, don't be so specific, because I got a funny feeling like you're a pretty good manifester of certain things. And what I am kind of feeling from you, though, is that you've been very specific in regards to what you want. but those sometimes when you're too specific, you are bypassing some of the ones that maybe just have a minor difference. You see what I mean? Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying, but you know what it is? I was married 16 years to the perfect man.
Yep.
And he cheated on me and left me for another woman.
That's what I thought. Yep.
So, I'm looking for someone else, but I don't want to accept less than what I had. I want to accept a man that is or was as charming, compatible, caring, the same that I had. Because
you know
why
what?
would I
maybe
accept that?
change
he did one mistake. He did one mistake, and that was, he cheated on me and left me for another woman. But for 16 years, I was very happy.
Yes.
And so I'm very specific and very particular. But then, I meet men who are like to have 2 or 3 girlfriends, or I meet men who have like a criminal record. I meet men who don't like to work. And why would I even get involved with a man that's not what I had or better?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I get you. And I think a little bit of that though is the wording within your own your own self-talk. So what I do want to say though is that instead of, let's say for example, I'm looking for somebody of that's compassion, that's this and that and everything else. Let's put it this way: your own soul, your own self knows exactly what you need. So what I would say then is when you go to bed at night, start saying to yourself as a little bit of a mantra that I am going to find somebody that's perfect for me, or that is right for me. Okay? Because that takes all the characteristics out. You see what I mean? And that actually allows your own subconscious to kind of like put out the on the radio frequency of you that I am now available to have a relationship with somebody that is right for me. That is who I need, sort of thing, and it will encompass everything that you're already desiring, sort of thing. It's just that it makes it much more simpler. And when you do that, like I said, your soul will start to put it out there. You will attract that, if that makes sense.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I will do that. See, I was told different. I was told to be very specific and write down everything. And
for some people that is needed, but for some people it's not necessary. But you already know who is within you. Like who is going to be compatible for you. You don't have to be so specific. But if you look for somebody that is, like I want to find my Mr. Right to my Mrs. Right or whatever, make it simple, make it very kind of like open that way, and then this way. But don't be afraid though to go out on a few dates or whatever, because you never know where it may lead. That's all.
Yeah, I like your advice. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate you calling. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so what was I talking about? Oh, and actually, you know what? That kind of brings up a interesting point too. It's our own self-talk about what's and who we are. Okay, and what we actually say to ourselves when we're alone. How do we talk to ourselves? How do we actually communicate with ourselves? Sometimes the noise can be very deafening in a quiet room. And with that, I do want to look at, let's say, for example, like how we word things within ourselves. And sometimes I'll see it, let's say, for example, let's say, whether it be on Facebook or whatever, like media, Facebook, any of those types of things, like they love using certain words to get us to either click, to buy, to create a reaction that is not necessarily how we really feel, but it excites and it incites a reaction to something. And one of them is actually tolerance. That is kind of an interesting word, because I do find that tolerance kind of has a little bit of a negative connotation behind it. Because let's say, for example, if I tolerate somebody or tolerate somebody's actions, what am I saying? It typically will mean that I am allowing that action, or I am allowing myself to have them or to react in a way to that person's action or voice or whatever, in a way that is not necessarily in alignment with me, but I will tolerate it. So that's not necessarily a good word to use. So instead of tolerance, I prefer to use, I guess you could say, acceptance. Do I accept, let's say, for example, this? Let's say, for example, do I accept somebody's story? Do I accept my own story? When you accept something, you're actually being more open, and that's a big part of it. So, like I said, just keep the self-talk in mind, because it can be it can hold you back sometimes, and we don't really realize it. See, the funny thing with the English language is it's very, in any language for that matter, is that it's very, I guess you could say, inaccurate, because you can't paint, I guess you could say, a full picture with words. It's just next to impossible. The energy behind things is where you get the definition. I guess I have another caller. So, if 312 could be put through, please, that would be fantastic.
Hi there. This is Karen from Chicago.
Hi, Karen from Chicago, and how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good so far.
I'm glad to hear that. So how can I help you today?
My question is, I'm wondering if you see any extra money for the holiday season. I'm thinking about taking a part-time job, but I really haven't, or part-time projects. I do work full-time, but it's like a temp assignment. It doesn't pay very well, but...
Gotcha. Okay, as I kind of tune in here, I am, let's put it this way, I am feeling that, yeah, you may have to, like, if you are looking for some money, then yes, you would want to explore, let's say, for example, like another maybe sort of side job. Now, the side job, I am kind of getting, though, that it could be, what does it feel like? See, initially I'm kind of like, I was going towards something traditional, okay, like just kind of like whether it be working at, let's say, a store or something like that, something to, like a traditional sort of work sort of place sort of thing. And I was going towards that line, but for some sort of reason I was held back. And I don't know why I'm wanting to say that, because I actually want to say is that as I kind of put myself into it, I was actually kind of feeling like, okay, well, no, it's something for you to actually explore a little bit more, where you're actually going to be found.
Okay.
Actually, what I want to, okay, it all comes down to your skills, okay? Because what I want to say actually is that for you to advertise your particular set of skills or whatever it is, whether it be one whatever it is. Let's say, for example, like if you're like as let's say an assistant or something like that, or a personal assistant or something like that, where like you're doing it for, let's say, a couple of days a week or something like that, or where you're kind of like whatever. You see what I mean? Like, what do you do now for a living?
I work for an insurance company, fleet insurance.
Okay. So what I want to actually say then is because obviously that's a lot of administrative type work and so forth.
Yes.
So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know why, but that was kind of coming up. So if it's something where, like where you could actually, another company could, let's say, hire you, like as a little bit of a part-time thing here or there to actually maybe do some typing or to do some, whether it be bookkeeping or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, but you just have to advertise yourself as being available. And it feels like somebody's actually going to pick up on that. And it could even be something where somebody doesn't, because let's put it this way, like sometimes small business owners where they're one-person operations, they're not very good at, let's say, for example, like doing some of the day-to-day type administrative tasks. And therefore, maybe that's something where you could actually kind of come in and fill in. And it could be something where you could actually do from home, even for that matter. It's just a matter of you putting it out there. I do see something.
Okay.
Something is coming. I do feel that. Like, because I'm actually getting very good cards here for you. I'm just kind of getting that there needs to be, you just have to put yourself out there and just take a look at the skills that you do have and advertise that, so that this way people can go like, oh, well, yeah, I could hire her for like a day a week or something like that. And if you get a couple of clients like that, like that could be very good for the holidays.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're giving me some good ideas. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I'll let you
You're
guys
very
know.
welcome. Okay, then.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay, so with that all being said, what time do we have here now? Oh, I got 9 more minutes left. I wonder if I could squeeze in this last caller. Okay, let's bring through 484. That would be great.
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Hi there.
Hi. And your name is?
My name is Tonetta.
Okay. And we'll make this fairly quick. How can I help you today?
I would like to know regarding what's going to go on here with the future regarding me and Desiree.
Interesting. You and Desiree. Desiree. What am I getting for that? Interesting thing is that I am getting... That's interesting. I'm getting kind of like a contract actually kind of almost being signed here or something like that almost. It's almost as if there's something that was going on there. But I am getting that there is going to be some, like a getting together, okay, kind of like talking things through. I am getting that you're like, but it feels strained. Why am I feeling strained, sort of thing? So, like I said, I do feel that there is some sort of, like I said, getting together, talking things through. I am getting, though, that there is going to be kind of like maybe a few decisions that have to be made. Don't rush in, and by rushing in, I don't mean like don't turn it into something that becomes emotional. Okay, because sometimes the emotions are actually holding us back sometimes. So you may have to be a little bit more kind of like, like where you're pulling yourself back and actually just being a little bit more analytical about how you're looking at things. So that this way it gives you a very clear vision of, what's kind of happening. I am getting, though, that she's almost kind of likes to try to create a little bit of emotion out of her, because it just feels like there's something there that she just, I don't know if it's a button that's being pushed or not. It just sometimes she has a tendency to maybe feel like she does that sometimes. But I am getting, though, that there is going to be some resolution here.
Okay.
But it is going to take a little bit of time. Okay. And it does, and I do feel, though, that there needs to be, it's almost as if you got to, there's almost having to be, like I said, it's where you're sitting back, you're kind of looking at things from a cool, calm sort of perspective, almost, if you can, almost like without, like a clear perspective on both sides, so that this way, like there's no, I guess you could say, like, nobody's going to be out ahead sort of thing, because, like I said, if the emotions get into it, that's when things can break down. So I'd want to say is, like, just be calm, be cool about things, kind of take what you're hearing or what you're figuring out, that, with a little bit of a cooler head, and then this way you can make a better decision. Okay? So
is she, now this, right, this contract that you said that there's going to be a contract or signing or anything, what is that in regards? Is she going to ask to move into my house that I'm renting?
It does feel like there is something there that is good. Like, I don't know why I was getting that, but I was seeing some papers that were just kind of like, and it was multiple papers. It was almost like there was like a contract or something like that, that were kind of being gone through and for something to be signed. And maybe that's the key there is to make certain that everything that's in that contract is very, I guess you could say, very concrete. Okay, so that this way, either you or her cannot go back on certain things, and maybe more so for her. You see what I mean? So that, because then way you can say,
right?
That,
do you
that the
feel like
contract
she
is broken.
is going to be living with me in the house that I'm living at now? I live on Oak Street. Is she going to be moving in there?
Good question. I am feeling that there is something doesn't feel right, though, when you say that. And I don't know why. I don't know why I want to say that. I almost want to say no, okay? But I do feel that there is something where you two are going to get together on. I could be wrong, and that's the thing there. But I do feel that there is going to be a coming together here. But when you said Oak Street, something in me was just kind of going, no, that's not the space, or that's not the place. I don't know why.
Yeah, because she has not spoken to me since July the 5th. We had a bad falling out, and I must have said the wrong thing to her and hurt her feelings, and she blocked me, and, there's nothing I could do. I did write her a handwritten letter on October the 8th, and I drove it down over to her apartment. The problem is when I dropped the letter off in between her door, it looked like she was no longer living there. I mean, I didn't want to peek through the windows or get crazy, but the whole porch was bare, and my gut instinct was she's gone from here. So I don't even know if she got my handwritten letter.
Okay, because she may not have gotten it then. That would just make sense to me. Because I don't know if there's another way that you can contact her, or even if you want to or not, for that matter.
Nope, I can't. So you don't feel she got that handwritten letter?
When you mention that, I would say, yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think she received it. I think
I
there's
guess her
something
landlord got it and ripped it up or something. I don't know.
Well, he may have just held on to it and not thought anything about it. Because was it actually stamped and addressed?
No, it just had her name on it. It was like in a card.
Oh, okay. Because then at that point or whatever, because if there was no address, obviously he couldn't do anything with it, right? You see what I mean?
I don't. Well, yeah, this was actually a friend of hers that she was renting from, but I heard that things went sour and she had to leave there. So I don't know even where she's living. She doesn't even have a permanent place of her own. That's why I asked if you saw her wanting to or asking to stay with me, because she has nowhere to call her own.
Yeah.
I don't even know where she's staying.
Yeah, I don't think she, like I said, I don't think she actually received your letter, and and that's probably why I didn't see her moving in with you, because I don't think she's even aware of your situation or anything, or of you even trying to contact her. Let's put it that way. So,
wow.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, I do have to cut this short. I'm sorry, but feel free to give me a call next week if you like. And
I will.
Okay, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you. And on that note, it's now 9 o'clock, and I do, at least here in the Eastern Standard Time, and I do thank everyone for joining me tonight. And be safe out there, and may all the universe give you a blessing, and as what's his name off of Ron Burgundy would say, stay classy, San Diego. Anyway, have a good night. Bye-bye.
You've reached the Holiday Helpline. We turn the holidays into holidays. Hi, I'm trying to chill out waiting for Black Friday, but we need warm clothes now and can't wait. So don't. Save big now at Old Navy. Old Navy? Yep, tomorrow only get 50% off all sweaters. 50% off all sweaters? Plus, get 40% off your entire purchase. 50% off when you use or open an Old Navy card. 50% off? Yep, turn your holiday into a holiday. Get to Old Navy today. Sweaters valid 11/20. Excludes in-store clearance. 40% off valid 11/16 to 11/21. Excludes in-store clearance, gift cards, register lane items, jewelry, today only and 2-day only deals. 50% off subject to credit approval. Valid 11/16 to 11/19. See stores for details. You've reached the Holiday Helpline. We turn the holidays into holidays. Hi, I'm trying to chill out waiting for Black Friday, but we need warm clothes now and can't wait. So don't. Save big now at Old Navy. Old Navy? Yep, tomorrow only get 50% off all sweaters. 50% off all sweaters? Plus, get 40% off your entire purchase. 50% off when you use or open an Old Navy card. 50% off? Yep, turn your holiday into a holiday. Get to Old Navy today. Sweaters valid 11/20. Excludes in-store clearance. 40% off valid 11/16 to 11/21. Excludes in-store clearance, gift cards, register lane items, jewelry, today only and 2-day only deals. 50% off subject to credit approval. Valid 11/16 to 11/19. See stores for details.